Hello and welcome to Life is Feudal, Forest Village. Where I last left off, I needed a lot of pies to be able to, send a ship off on an expedition. So what I did is I put all the foundations down for all the new buildings that we needed, and because the video was taking quite a while, I decided to finish all that off camera. We didn't have enough people to be able to fill the roles in, gathering all the resources. It was going to just take a really long time. So as I said, I just left it there, and we're back now where all of those resources have been gathered and all the buildings have actually been completed. So where we're at now is we've got our little bakery here. This one I'm alternating it between fish pies and meat pies. And when I do that, what I do is I need to make fish pies, I'll lock off the fish, and if I need the meat pies, I'll lock off the meat, because the trouble is otherwise the villagers would just scuff all this and would slow things down. The field over here, I was originally going to use this for wheat, but I've now got another one here, and this is just like a little one-person field. I mean, that's doing really well, because I've got about 860 grains, so there's a lot of this this wheat's getting created. It comes out as grain once it gets harvested, but yeah, it's producing that much. I mean, there was no point. So I've got this set aside for potatoes next. Now, one thing that they introduced into the game mechanics, which is slightly different to when I originally played it, is the windmill. Because here the windmill, it takes the grain and it converts it into flour. Now, when I first played the game, I assumed that the bakeries would then take the flour to use to make their pies, but originally that didn't happen. They just used the grain. But they've now changed it, so if you want to make pies, you do need the windmill. So that's an interesting twist. So it added an extra building to bring into the equation. So you can see there, I mean, we need flour now. So we've got our windmill here, and I also needed a chicken coop, because when you make the vegetable pies you need the eggs. So I've got eggs locked off pretty much just permanently now, because otherwise these eggs will just get scoffed by the villagers. And I'd rather have the vegetable pies, because I mean, if you look at the vegetables, you get about 7 calories out of vegetables. Now this is my vegetable pie baker, so we're taking about 3, so that's about roughly 21 calories that would have gotten out of that. That's out of curiosity. So that's, yeah, I mean, that's a slight improvement, because there's another like 15. Well, no, it's 2. Is that 2 eggs, I think? Yeah, so you're still getting more. You're getting more calories out of a pie than you would out of that many eggs and that many vegetables. So it still makes more sense, I think, to make the pies. So I'm just going to keep these locked off permanently. Now, I've got two bakeries. These are just going to be running, all the time. But while I need to make these, these pies here for the ship, I'll just lock resources off as and when I need them. But otherwise, they'll just make the pies that the people can eat. Now in terms of the chicken coop, that was quite interesting, because I hardly had any sort of like free labourers. I mean, I've got quite a lot now, because the house has been built, but I had all these on pause, and then when I was ready to build them, I'd just unpause them. So I unpaused the chicken coop, and as soon as that got built, it was populated straight away with a chicken. And it's like, oh no, I don't have a farmer to actually look after it. So it was a case of I had to like scramble and try to find somebody. I think I had to take a miner off or something, but by the time I did that, a blooming fox turned up and ate the chickens. So that was it. It was the end of the coop straight away. And the trouble is that's it. That's the coop or the pasture that you've got finished. You have to destroy it and rebuild it. So this time what I did, I left it deliberately on pause once it got to almost to the end of the build, and I put in some hunting cabins. Originally I just had this one, and that one there was down there. So these covered all of this area. I had 2 hunters keeping an eye on the place, and I kept an eagle eye on this place in case anything turned up. But I also, because I extended the road out here, the ramp that was originally here has now gone. So you've got a natural wall here that's blocking access for the animals getting down. But I've also put a forester in here, and that's disabled from planting anything, because if you keep the area clear of trees, you're less likely to get any animals wandering in, which is good because there's less chance of your villagers getting rabies, but it's also less chance of anything getting in to eat your animals. I mean, the reason I actually had that ramp there in the first place, I deliberately put a ramp in, was because I was gathering resources here at one point. People were going out in the the really cold winters and dying of hypothermia, which is a bit cruel of me, but that's now gone. But there is still a ramp down here. Or at least there was. Yeah, there's a ramp there for them. So we've now got everything in place, and I mean, if we go over to the actual harbour here, we're only about 4 pies short. I mean, we've got 15 in there, so we've got enough vegetable pies. The house has been built, but I'm still a bit puzzled over whether we've got enough food at this stage, because I think it was on about like 12, maybe 13,000 or something, so it's dropped considerably the amount of food we've got in storage. And I can't quite tell what's happening, because on the accounting house, it's really, really good, because I mean, here it tells you like the sort of like resources you've got, so you can find out about how you're doing. So like, for instance, fish. I mean, this is how we're doing for fish over the period of a year. So you can see like where it depletes quite a lot. At that point where it's at its highest, that'll be when I lock the fish off, so that we could get the fish pies made. But I couldn't find one specifically for like food, for instance, where it'll just tell me overall, are we providing enough food for all these people? But the nearest I've found is this one. All it tells you is calories. I'm assuming that's to do with the calories being consumed. But that doesn't really tell me am I keeping up with the demand. All I can do is just stick to the original strategy, which is keep an eye on the amount of food that I've got, and see like over the period of a year, does that fall below what it was before. So we're into late fall now, and we're around about 8,000. I mean, all of these farms, they're pretty much finished. I mean, they are. I mean, this is the crazy thing. I mean, it's like it's late fall and they're starting to seed the fields, which is a complete waste of time. But one other thing I did actually was there was just a normal barn down here, and every so often I think it kept getting full up. So I've now got 2 of these castle barns in, because we've got all of these fields, so they're taking all of their crops and dumping them in here. I think that's where the eggs are going as well. We get the occasional bit of meat coming in from the chickens as well. Sometimes the hunters would dump their stuff here as well, I'd imagine. I think it depends on where they are when they actually go and catch something. I think they just take it to the nearest barn. But anyway, that's now ready, which is good. I've been doing a lot of terraforming around here because I want to put in more pastures, more fields and so on. So I've got, that's the reason I put this hunter out here. So hopefully these two, I mean, they overlap this bit of area here. So hopefully they should be able to keep an eye on any pastures that we create. But I had to put a bit of a ramp in there just to be, just to complete the road. If I'd started off earlier where I'd like terraformed this whole lot, in the first place, it would have been a bit easier, but it is what it is. I mean, it would take a lot. I mean, there's a few times where I've flattened areas and then demolished places and then put them back again after killing them, but it takes a lot of time. But anyway, I'm just going to unpause the video now because I just want to see this how a ship going off. Oh, hang on. We've got raiders. So there are raiders off here somewhere. So where are we? Right, they're right off here by the looks of it. Oh, that's not good. That's not what I need. Yeah, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on them. The easiest way for me to cope with them, I've run into them before, but the easiest way to cope, I think, is just to get somebody to deal with them, because otherwise what happens is they'll come out and they'll set fire to places. They don't attack your actual villages, but they do attack the buildings, unfortunately. There is a way to deal with that, and that's to use these, was it those watchtowers, I think there are. Yes, there's stone towers, there's watchtowers. I think it's the watchtower. So if you build one of them, it's a fortified structure, it says. I don't remember the stone towers, but the watchtower, you can build one of these. I'm going to slow this down actually, because I'm a bit concerned about the raiders. But if you build one of these, you can upgrade it and it'll get arrows, and then that way it can deal with things like the raiders. But yeah, I'm quite keen to watch that ship go off, but I'm also a bit bothered by the raiders because I'm going to have to grab somebody to take over. I'm curious because they've got... Aha, so they must have taken all of the pies. So somebody's at some point is going to take these vegetable pies. Oh, there you go. So we've got 12 vegetable pies now in stock. So at some point these should get released. And we should see our ship go. I'm just keeping an eye out for where these blooming raiders land. Right, we'll just wait for this this builder to hopefully build it. Oh, nope, you've changed your mind, have you? Okay, fair enough. Came all the way out here to build it and then decided, oh, I need something to eat. They both actually came out here to build it, but only one of them is actually bothering. Okay, fair enough. Whatever floats your boat. I suppose eating's a bit more important, but it seems kind of pointless to have come out all the way out here and then decided actually I need something to eat. Right, so they've landed right the way down here. Wow, that's a long way, so I'm going to have to get somebody from there all the way down to here. That can't be good. I've completely lost the plot. Where did it go? Oh, it's down here. So that would be better because it's due south of where we are. Oh, I don't like this because it's winter time. Yeah, it's winter time. If I drag anybody all the way out there, they'll probably die of hypothermia. So I'm just gonna have to. I'm gonna have to wing it. Oh, there's a hunter taking on a fox. I'm gonna have to take the risk that I can't. There's no way I can risk sending anybody down there. They don't have the any, warm clothing. So I'm just gonna have to watch out for anybody turning up. If anybody turns up, then they'll either show up down here somewhere. I'm assuming this is probably the first building they'll aim for. They could come down here potentially. It's a pity I can't zoom out any further. But we're just going to wait for this little ship to go on its way. It doesn't do much, to be honest. It just sets sail. There you go. It just disappears. It doesn't sail off. It just disappears. So it takes early fall. So it takes just slightly less than a year. Now I'm pretty sure when I set off it was I'm sure it was animals that I was more interested in. So ideally they'll come back with, say, like donkeys, because then you can start ferrying things from this barn here, for instance, to the one down here, or from my warehouse here to here. I can leave stuff down here for the fishermen. But then there's the other pastures. I mean, cows are good because then you can get milk and you can get meat out of the cows. I think there's you can get sheep. Now sheep are really good because then you can get the wool. So I mean, I've got a weaver down here. Now at the moment they're just making normal cloth, but I want the warm clothes. Now to make that you need the wool from the sheep. So it's just a case. I think it's entirely random what you get. So it'll probably be a case of having to do quite a lot of quite a lot of expeditions to get all of the different animals. So now that we're done with our ship, I'm just releasing that pies, so these people can now eat the pies. But now what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna pause the video there, because basically it's just a waiting game. My priority at the moment is I want to make sure that these raiders don't come in and cause me any problems. So I'll bring you back as soon as I spot them. Aha! I found two there. So you can see them just coming in through there, because there's obviously a ramp down there. So I'm just going to grab this person here. She's only Gronlin. She's only 13. But we need her to take on the raiders. So where were they? I think there was two of them I spotted. So, oh, there's three. Oh, there's a pig there. There might be more, because sometimes there's like 4 of them, I think. Right, well, toot your horn so you can be a bit more efficient. And now I'm going to have to... It's just a waiting game to see if there's any more of them turn up. I mean, that might be it. It doesn't tell me, like, you've finished and you've cleared them all out. But I think that was the better strategy than trailing all the way down there. Normally what I would do, as soon as they've been sighted, I'd go out to wherever they're potentially going to land, because you can normally spot their ship on the horizon and then clear them out further away, but it was just too risky for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pause the video. I'm not going to do anything at the moment, because I'm quite keen just to see how far the food goes, so I'm going to leave it running for a year. And then by then probably that ship will have come back with something. So I'm just going to pause it there, and then I'll bring you back once we're ready. Well, a bit of a change of plan. I was going to wait for the full year, basically, to see, watch our ship come back, keep an eye on the food resources, but food's dropped so low, I'm getting a bit concerned. So what I've done is I've opened up the actual potato farm here, so I've got 2 people in here. So we've now got 11 people working on farms. Still leaves me with quite a lot of with free labourers to free up for other things. My OCD got the better of me. I had to like straighten this bit up a bit more, and I'm now going to have to put the roads back in, I can see. So I'll just do that. But they're building this fish farm out, and because I had to destroy it and put it back again, and they've cut a big massive chunk out of the land anyway. So either way, it's going to end up a bit untidy. So never mind. Gives me something to do. Oh no, places are on fire. That's not good. That's interesting, that, because it's usually around about the fall when we get all the fires, from the lightning strikes. I mean, Struth, look at all these lightnings. This is not good. Come on, folks, put out the fires quickly. We're in dire need of getting out. Oh, it's a stone quarry. Wow, 36 water it needs. This is the crazy thing I find about this, though, is, I mean, there's all this rain coming down, and that's when we get the lightning strikes, and yet, we still need tons and tons of water to still be able to put the fires out. Okay, so now we've got another one over here. Oh no! Right, so I'll leave them to it. I mean, oh, and get somebody into the fish farm. How's it? Alright, yes. These fish, they're not the fish that have been actually farmed, they're the fish that are growing in here. So I'm going to add another fisherman to the list. So that's somebody who looks after the fish farm. So these, I mean, there's only one person, you can't add any more. That's it, in the story, just, it's one person. So it'd be interesting to see how that compares to say, you know, here where I've got like 2 people. But I'm just going to leave that running because, again, I still need to keep an eye on the amount of food we've got. I think what I'll do is I'll probably start adding more fish farms along the way. So I'm just going to pause the video and then I'll bring you back. It's actually just dawned on me. When this ship set off, I'd set up an expedition to go after animals, go looking for animals, bring back an animal. That was the instruction. And normally what happens is, like, you've got, I mean, for instance, I've got an option here to build a coop because I know about chickens. Now, if it comes back with a sheep, you get an extra option here for I think it's a sheep farm or something. But if it comes back with a donkey, I've got nowhere to put the donkeys, and we've actually already got an option to build a donkey farm. So on the off chance they do come back with a donkey, what I've done is I've built myself a donkey farm down here. So, I mean, we've got most of the resources except iron, so it just means I'm going to have to go out and put an instruction out to gather iron, because I haven't put another iron mine in yet, so that's something else I'm going to have to start looking for. But, I mean, it's early spring, so hopefully they should be able to get this built. I mean, Murphy's Law, they'll probably come back with something completely different anyway, but just to play it safe, I'm just going to get this donkey farm built. So I'm just going to pause the video there, and I'll bring you back once we're ready. Right then, I completely missed the plot there. The ship's turned up, and it's actually given us pigs. So we've got like an extra option here to make a pasture for pigs. Now, pigs will give you meat, which will be very useful because we do have a serious shortage of meat. Now I want to put it over here, but I've got a well and a hunting cabin in the way. I mean, I want to keep the well there, so I'm quite tempted to put the pig farm here. 22 by 22. If I go out to, say, the next level is 26 by 26. Now that's when I need 2 people, so I think that's a bit too feels a bit too big. 22 by 22 I think we can get away with. I'm just a bit concerned about the oats as well, so I suppose I could put, if I build it just past the well instead then. So 22, yeah, the cabin's still getting in the way, so I'm going to have to move this. Either way, I'm going to have to move this. I mean, I could put it further out, I suppose, but I suppose I haven't said that. If we get a pig farm and we get more meat, it would make sense to have a baker that could do the meat pies. So tell you what, let's make a baker. So I think that's the big. I think that's the front. Let's turn it around. Yeah. So that's our. Just keep it lined up with that one. Although no, I'll keep it lined up with the well. Right. So that gives us our baker. So the baker will be able to make meat pies. So this one will focus. This one on the fish. This one on the meat, this one on the vegetables. So, actually, is that overlapping with the road? Can't quite tell if they're overlapping with the road. But the pigs. Now, do it about 22 by 22. I think seems a reasonable amount. Now they need oats though, so I'm not sure. There's one field over here makes oats. Whether that's enough for both the pigs and the chickens, I don't know at this stage. That one's there for herdsmen, so I'll increase that because as soon as that comes on stream, I want somebody to look after it. Now what I've been doing since, I've added in this extra fish farm just because I was getting really concerned about the food. I mean, we're into fall. These fields are almost emptied. There's still still quite a bit to go. So we've now got 2 fish farms. I mean, we're hitting a plateau of about 20 fish, which is, it's actually a bit less than, I mean, these things we're doing with 2 people were peaking about 45 at one point. Now it's about 35. That one's peaked, so you can see how it just hits a peak, but then it drops quite a bit for some reason. Whereas these are, yeah, it's kind of difficult to tell. Maybe that's just the point when you know, they produce 15 fish, I think, and then they go and pick them up and take them to the barn. I mean, that one's probably peaked at about 45 as well, so that's 2 people. So I'll have to give it a bit more time to see, but I'm still quite tempted to keep adding some more of these along the coastline. Our donkey farm's almost completed. I mean, I've been adding more people into the building to speed things up. I sent a lot of people out to gather ore because I didn't have enough. I've also built an iron mine as well, but that still needs completing. Got an extra water well down here just to provide coverage against fires. And we've got another water well there because I know that the donkeys are going to need it. Now the pigs are going to need water as well. So hopefully this will come on stream and start giving us a lot more meat. I mean, I don't know exactly how much at this stage, but I quite like the stock of fish is doing quite well. Pies, I'm not seeing any spare pies. I'm assuming these are just going straight into here. Anything that's spare. But I think I might put an instruction in to pause these off. So I'll double click these. That means nobody can pick them up. Once we've got enough fish pies, I'll switch them over to a meat pie baker. Unless this one comes on stream quicker. And then it's a case of seeing how well we're doing for food. But I do want to terraform this place off so that I can get some 12 by 12 farms, and I think there's enough space. So I'm just going to wait for the weather to clear up, and then I'm just going to terraform it before the winter comes in and blocks everything off. So I'm just going to pause it off there, and I'll bring you back shortly. Well, I'd have to say today is just one of those days. It's like an absolute disaster. I mean Murphy's Law. If something can go wrong, it will go wrong, and it really went wrong. I mean, I should have come back from an expedition and had brought us some pigs. So I built a little pig farm and I increased the number of herdsmen so that as soon as this was built, somebody would step in to look after them. That was the plan anyway. And I've got a little baker here that'll, you know, make meat pies. So I left that, assuming everything would go to plan there. Came over here to start terraforming the area. Got all this area cleared out. And we've now got an extra field. They're all 12 by 12, so they're slightly bigger. And this one here now makes it's growing grass, which gives you the hay. So off they go. You know, I'm putting all my little extras in. So I've got my wells, my scarecrows, and there's like a message pops up saying that the pig had died of starvation. So it's like I'm back here, and it's like that's it. There's no pigs here at all. So it's like, well, what the heck happened there? And it turns out that the donkey farm, it takes up to 5 people by default. So I had to wind that down to 2. I thought, well, I'll keep 2 there just to be on the safe side. In fact, at the moment, I'll take it back to 1. So it's like, well, that's annoying. So what I then did is, obviously I had to deconstruct this farm and rebuild it. And right, great, we've now got our pig. I'm gonna have to keep an eagle eye on this, make sure, you know, it's well looked after. We've got 3 people looking after it. Can't see that having a problem. In fact, I'll dial that down actually. I'll keep 4, so I'll have 1 person in there and 3 in here. So yeah, so I thought this was all going tickety-boo. We're back on course again. Got some more pies. We've sent a ship off to get more animals, and then it's like really weird. I mean, I want to keep an eye on this place to make sure that it's safe, because obviously I I lost a chicken here. The only chicken I had, I lost it to a fox. So I thought I'll keep a close eye on here just to be on the safe side. I mean, I've got hunters here and here looking after the place, but all the same, I'll keep an eye on it. And it's like really weird because there was some people started walking by that had little house icons above their head. I'm thinking, well, I don't get it. I didn't destroy anybody's houses. I didn't like demolish anything. So what's going on here? So I start looking around at the houses, and then this one shows up and it's got a whopping big icon saying no passage to the building. It's like, oh no! When I put that terraforming order in, I must have edged just too close and taken the road out. So obviously I'd cut 10 people off from their home. So it's like they're all out in the middle of winter with nowhere to live, nowhere to get food, nowhere to get warm. So it's like, oh, shine a light, this is not what I need. So all of a sudden I couldn't find a way to get a road in there to give them access to it. I mean, the terraforming order was still in place, so I couldn't rebuild the area and then put the road back. So I put instructions in to put some little shacks in, because they don't take much resources. There's 10 hay, 15 wood, easily enough done. So I put the orders in, and then the bloomin' was it? I think I lost one build at hypothermia. One of the herdsmen then starved to death. The other builder then literally I watched the builder here trying to build this lot, and they had died. So fortunately there was still enough people left, so somebody then took it on, and we ended up with one person then managed to finish this work off. So we managed to just get to the point where we've only lost like 3 people. I mean, I've got this this little shack here. I thought this had 12 people, but only had 10, so I'm just going to demolish that. I've now put an order in to demolish this because I'm just going to flatten the area and rebuild it, because I'll not get a road back in. Not at this rate. There's no point. I may as well flatten it. It'll be more efficient after that. And then just when I think it hadn't got any worse, I got that message saying the pig died in an animal attack. So I come all the way down here, and sure enough, that only pig that was there then just got eaten by a wolf. So it's like, that's it. It's finished. So I've got an order now to deconstruct the pasture. We're gonna have to rebuild it, and that's pretty much it, really. I mean, the other ship set sail because we've got plenty of pies are getting built, but we're short on tools. Let's see. So that person makes the manufacturer's tools, so we're okay there. So they should start replacing the tools. But I think what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to put a house down here, just to make things a lot more efficient for the people who work in this area. At the moment, they have to go all the way over here to get their food if they get cold during the winter, so it's not very efficient at all. So if I put a house here, they don't have far to go. Now the only trouble is the amount of food. I mean, I was on about 6,500 towards the end of the last fall of year 24. There was 6,500 food, and we're down to less than 4,000. So I'm a bit reluctant to put that in straight away. I mean, I'll get the orders in to build it, but I'm going to have to keep a close eye on the food. So hopefully once this pig farm is rebuilt and comes on stream, we should be getting a lot more meat made. But I'll also put some instructions in down here to build a couple of more of these fish farms, and then it's a matter of it's a juggling act. I've got to keep a close eye on how much food I've got versus how much people I've got, because I mean, obviously, like, if you want to get more resources, you need more people. But if you want more people, you've got to have the resources to support them. So, I mean, it takes a bit of a while for them to grow up. So I'll probably wait for these 5 to grow up, and then I'll turn my attention to maybe risking building the house again. But I mean, this could have been so much worse. We've only lost 3 people, but thankfully we managed to just salvage it in the nick of time. So I'm just waiting for this ship to come back to see what livestock we've got. Hopefully it's a donkey, but sheep would be good. Even cows for that matter, to be honest, because then more meat. But I think I'm just going to call it a day for this video. I mean, I got where I wanted to, which is basically we've been able to get the resources in. We can now make our pies and be able to, get ship expeditions going. It's just a case of, sorting out the food and housing again. More people, more food. Just keep growing the place that way. But anyway, I do hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If so, then do please leave a like, as that'll help me out a great deal. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see more content, then yeah, do subscribe. Just remember to click the little bell icon, that way you get notifications for when new content comes out. And if you've got any comments, any suggestions, any feedback at all, do please leave that in the comment section below. But until the next video, thanks very much for watching. Bye!